As soon as he.
All right, we'll go ahead and we have one person who's going to be standing and doing mindful walking, and the rest of us are seated. You can do either one if you're listening to this. But go ahead and take a comfortable position and posture. If you're seated, feel the weight of your body resting in the chair. Your feet are on the floor, your hands in your lap. Your back fairly straight. You don't need to arch it forward, but let it be straight so you can rest. Each vertebrae balanced on the other. Your chin tucked in slightly, so your head rests comfortably on your neck. Let your shoulders relax and drop. As I say, just feel the weight of your body in the chair. We'll begin with 3 deep breaths. In and out, in and out, in and out. Now go ahead and let your breath just come normally. And let your attention settle down into your belly. You can feel the beginning and end of your breath. Your belly rises to draw in that air. Your belly falls as you breathe out. You feel the center of your diaphragm, that spot a few fingers widths below your navel. And that's one of the largest muscles in our body, and it rises and falls like a bellows. And it rises to draw the breath in and falls as you breathe out. And just let go of thoughts, anything else, and as best as you can, focus on that breath. Just be aware that belly rises and you breathe in, and falls and you breathe out. If it's helpful, you can use those words, in fact. Not a lot of commentary necessary, just think breathing in, breathing out. And as your mind wanders, you just bring it back. No need to berate yourself, wonder where you've been, how far out you went into the past or future, into imagination, worries. Just come back again and again to this moment, breathing in and breathing out. And today I want us to consider a little bit about kind of beauty and mystery in this world. Sometimes I think they can light our way when there seems to be beauty about our path. It's a way for me of knowing I'm on the right path, going in the right direction. It can offer encouragement too. It can be any number of things, small things, seeing the pattern of a spider web that's wet with dew in the morning, a crow in your backyard calling, and I'll tell you the secret, they're not crowing caw, they're saying now, 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 bringing you to this moment, just as we try to bring ourselves back to this breath. And all they ask of you, crow, spider's web, is that you see them. And sometimes I think this universe uses these smaller things to prepare us. Those tiny little wonders, tiny beauties, the bumblebee, hummingbird. Make sure that it has our attention. The world wants to tug at our sleeves to get us to pay attention in the same way as we practice here with paying attention to the breath and the body. We can bring that same mind of attention to the rest of the world and notice when it tugs at our sleeves, when it shows us something small and wonderful. To say, start paying attention and just wait till what I've got to show you after this. We're once walking on the bluff behind my house, walking in a grassy area with some sumac. The sumac was filled with lightning bugs, and I was walking right around dusk. Then I paused and thought, this is beautiful. And it got me paying attention. And I walked a little further, and there, just off the path, I could have easily missed it, was a deer, a big buck just standing there staring at me. And I stayed a little longer to take that in. It was July 4th. I walked to the end of the bluff. And then there was another wonder, the fireworks going off about, seemed several hundred yards directly in front of us. We were up high enough. We were right at the level where they exploded. And I think each one of those was preparing me for the next. As there are those beautiful small things. And then every once in a while, if the world doesn't get our attention by tugging lightly at our sleeves, it yanks us so hard it knocks us over. People all over the world were lucky enough to have that happen last weekend. We were talking about that. Down here, it was probably the biggest Northern Lights display I'd ever seen. I've seen it where it fills a quarter of the sky, half the sky. This time it filled the entire sky. Curtains of light waving off to the north, and pillars of light coming out of a center point directly overhead, filling the sky. So sometimes this world can be quite extravagant. It's not always the small, sometimes it is the large and incredible. That's storm 20 years ago that caused a huge display. I'd been new to town, was trying to find a job, trying to find my way in this new place. And I just kind of asked of the world, of the universe, some kind of a sign that would show me things were going to be okay. I didn't need to know how, just to know they were going to be okay. And I walked out that night, and there was that Northern Lights display. So it's there for everyone, but sometimes it carries a message for us. I took that one to say, don't give up heart, keep going. As I say, we are practicing the kind of attention that the world wants from us, just in watching our breath, in watching the beautiful things in the world that are just asking, are you paying attention now? Are you paying attention now? And we can miss it so easily. And it doesn't require much to see it. much like we practice doing in this breathing exercise. There are a few key things that are necessary: to pause or stop, get out of the usual running around we do in our bodies or our minds, moving on to always the next thing, always the next thing. That we can stop to see what's right in front of us. And then to be quiet, as I had to be with that deer 10 feet away from me. I needed to just take it in and be quiet so that I didn't scare it off. There too, I needed to stand still. Sometimes that's another thing that the world requires of us, to just stand still to see what's around us. And this can be all kinds of beauty and wonder. It can be natural, like the full moon, the northern lights, or it can be human. The laugh of a child, someone singing with their whole being, whether they're even good or not. Just that energy and devotion to the singing in that moment is beautiful. So we pause, we be still, we be quiet, and then all that's necessary is to look and listen, to open our eyes, open our hearts, open our ears, all our senses, to take in, to get that message of the world tugging at your sleeve, of saying, are you looking? Are you listening? Here, I have this to show you. I have this for you to hear. Continuously giving gifts, let us know it's all right, that we can feel at home in this world. The same as we feel at home just within our bodies in this practice. Settling in, pausing, not running from place to place, sitting still for a few moments. What a rare thing that seems to be sometimes. And having some quiet and being the quiet so that we can hear our breath. We can hear the world around us. We can sometimes hear our own heart calling to us. Or if we're really lucky, we can hear the voice of the entire world, what it's saying to us. We can listen, and we can even enter into conversation with it. Any good conversation. You'd never sit down with a friend and not speak, and just put it on them to do all the talking. There's the relationship. There's the interaction. We can listen to that voice of the universe. And we can ask things of it. People call that prayer. It can be a call and a response. It's just your heart speaking out, asking to be shown the way, asking, are you in the right place? Is the world a loving place? And you'd be amazed if you stop long enough and stand there quietly to the answers you can get. It can be a question or a request that you don't share with anyone. It's just your deepest request. Rest, and then you stand or sit and wait and listen. Much the same way we sit quietly to just listen to the breath, which is a wonder in itself, this breath coming and going, keeping us alive, the sweetness of the air. We don't always appreciate that either. We take for granted this breath unless we're sick and can't catch our breath. That moment, if you've ever had the experience of having the wind knocked out of you as a child, that scary moment when you can't seem to breathe in. Instead, we get to breathe out and feel that next breath, moment after moment, moment after moment, listening to the world, letting it call to us, tug at our sleeves, and stop to see what it has to offer. So we start with the small things too, with the breath, with the body, with the sounds around us. And it's like doing exercises to increase our strength so that soon we get to where we can hear that quiet voice of the world. You can see the beauty that it reveals to us. And it all starts with just paying attention to the breath to begin with. So carry that with you this week. That listening, that pausing, opening your eyes, being quiet, just being open to those things beyond your breath, and perhaps even to asking what you didn't even know you wanted to have from the great world. Now we'll take 3 deep breaths. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes.